Welcome back. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tobacco, and we're seeing all over the country and on streaming, 40 million homes and all around the world on the web, and we're on Facebook and all that other stuff. I am constantly sent all kinds of great stuff, and I try to use some of it on the show every so often. And I like the viewer feedback. I appreciate all of you out there in our Facebook audience. I know we have a very loyal bunch of followers there that tune in every day and they tell a friend, and the shares are going up, which I really appreciate. But it's getting harder and harder to tell the truth. As I told you last week, we tried to promote a tweet. We tried to promote a segment on Facebook, and they rejected it. And their excuse for rejection was that we were promoting the use of tobacco products, because my name is John Tobacco. So censorship is everywhere, including yesterday. Breaking news was that Facebook actually rejected and took down an ad for the Donald Trump 2020 victory campaign because it had a red triangle in it, and red triangle had some historical significance to the Nazi Party, and at the same time. The triangle is in all the Antifa stuff, so it's like really weird. But is Frankie back? I think Frank Morano joined us. Okay, I didn't see you, so I didn't know if you were there.
Well, I was
Frank,
here.
What's your take on this stuff with the censoring of the president's ads?
Well, I think it's terrible. Look, I think, these big tech companies, they've become almost governments onto themselves. They don't follow their own rules. It's not clear what the criteria is for advertising on these platforms or even just posting normal posts on these platforms. I think there's going to have to be a reckoning. And the one thing that maybe will come out of this pandemic is everyone, left-wing people, right-wing people, non-political people, seem frustrated at how the big tech companies are treating them. And they realize, especially in the midst of a pandemic, how reliant we are upon these big tech companies to get just basic information out there. So I hope that either Congress or the president or the FCC will do something to either break up some of these big tech companies or to regulate them in a way that they have to adhere to the same standards that TV stations and radio stations and newspapers do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Michael Pack will start to create a forum there with his new position and try to get some truth out there. You know what I mean? Like it's Twitter flagged one of Trump's tweets last month. Now Facebook rejects an ad. It's kind of like, they're the thought police now.
Yeah, look, I enjoy going on Twitter, but the fact that you can have Ice Cube praising Louis Farrakhan and tweeting all these bizarre anti-Semitic tweets, and he still has unhindered access to the platform, and yet you have someone like Milo Yiannopoulos banned from Twitter for criticizing, a Saturday Night Live cast member. The fact that you have Roger Stone banned from Twitter, it's not even clear why Roger was banned from Twitter. It shows that there's very little transparency here. There's very little consistency, and it does look very often as if there's a double standard depending on who is doing the tweeting.
Okay. So I want to play a little game with you, and I know you're not going to be able to see them for a few seconds, but we'll leave them up there, okay? I'm really getting frustrated. If you can see me, I'm wearing all white today. I'm wearing my white Peace T-shirt that Scott Lebedo made for me, and my white Shot Shaver golf cap, okay? I'm getting sick and tired of hearing about these people lecturing us on white privilege, okay? I can understand it theoretically in some academic left-wing think tank, but I'm a half Italian, half Irish guy from New York City. My father was a cop. My grandfather was in the printers union, okay? I don't take highly to say that I had some privileged life. Was I privileged to have great parents and great family? Yes. Did I have great parents, great family because I was white? No. I got lucky in the lottery of life with a good family. Okay, so white privilege is getting me mad. Now, on top of it, I was joking yesterday about Lucky Charms. Okay, and the little leprechaun, maybe we got to ban him. I did some research last night. We're in the small minority with our vowels at the end of our name here. So I'm Italian. Here's how the white privilege started for us Italians when we got here, when our ancestors got here into Ellis Island. Here is an ad from the newspaper in New York City, a classified ad, okay, and you see it's dated May 28th, 1888. Council passed a resolution that parties receiving the contract for paving East Washington Street shall bind themselves not to employ any Italian labor. So, as in 1888, just beyond 100 years ago, some of our ancestors were here trying to find work and build a family, and there were actually ads in the newspaper that said no Italians, right? So that doesn't sound right off the bat that privileged.
Yeah, you know what, though, John, it's not just blacks and Italians that have undergone discrimination in America. It's Jews, it's Hispanics, it's Asians. It's almost every ethnic group, when they get here in numbers that are smaller than the community that they're arriving in, that has faced some serious form of discrimination. So, I mean, I would hope that, a holiday like Juneteenth would encourage people in certain ethnic groups to have empathy with what others have gone through, rather than say add fuel to the fire of doing things like taking down Christopher Columbus's statue and renaming Columbus Day.
Right, it's crazy, right? Exactly.
Just as Juneteenth is an important day for celebrating Black history and the Black culture in America, a lot of Italians and Americans of Italian descent have come to view Columbus, irrespective of his faults, as sort of that very same kind of symbol of Italian-American heritage.
That's right. And then, further, I'm half Irish. I was joking about the leprechaun, but there were also ads in the paper about Irish folk.
Yeah.
And, just Nico, we have that? Okay. It says, notice the contractors, this article, this classified ad. The whitewashing and papering of Hackett Keefe Saloon will go to the lowest bidder. Bids to be in sealed proposals not to exceed $13. The balance is whiskey. No Irish need apply. So again, it was common.
Funny. I'm married to an Irishman, and if you come to our house, you'll see we have a sign frame that says Irish need not apply. And that was an actual employment sign there. And, a lot of us remember the movie Blazing Saddles, which was so politically incorrect and so funny that you could never make that film today. But you hear one of the townspeople say about who they should let into their new town. We'll take the blacks, and that's not the word that he used. We'll take the blacks and the Asians, and that's not the word that he used, but we don't want the Irish. That's right. Where they drew the line at the Irish.
Ouch.
So again, it's a comedy, but it was illustrative of how a lot of people that were in this country viewed people that were new to this country. And I really...
All right, Frankie, we got to wrap it up right there. We got Dr. Barry Goldsmith is going to crack you up right after this.